Sanatana Bhakta Raghunatha Shri Gopala Bharata Asa Raghunatha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Jivedaya Gauri Sarvar Sada Sriyada Savatari Atyanta Advaita Purnima Parivarirana Sikaya Saranagati Agatera Kanya Atma Vedana Koki Devarana Avasara Shri Krishna Vesha Sakalavana Bhakti Anukula Macha Kaye Svikara Bhakti Pratikula Bhava Bhajanangikara Sadara Sharanagati Oiveja Bala Pradhana Sune Shinanda Kumara Rupa Sanatana Pate Kante Chena Gori Akate Vinora Pade Rupa Adori Kariya Kariya Bole Amito Yadama Shikaye Saranagati Karaye Uttama Jaya Sachidananda Jaya Gaurari Sachidananda Jaya Gaurari Jaya Sachidananda We're gonna go get the boys. Okay. Thank you. Come on, boys. Come on, boys.
You guys aren't doing too bad either.
Don't you know what time it is? Hold on the mic. Is live in 10 minutes.
I already put it in the chat.
Gauranga bolite habe Bulaka sharira Hari
Sukakari Radhe Shama 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 Shri Radhe Bhajanamana Sukakari Radhe Shama 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 Shri Radhe Bhajanamana Sukakari Radhe Shama 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 Shri Radhe 9:30?
We told them 10.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
They should just thought that we usually get started at 9:15 or 9:30.
Oh yeah, they're bad.
I mean, do you want to just, how about,
I wish I would have known because I was
I was amazed. I was like,
sharp.
wow, I can't believe Legends were finished by 9:30. I'm like, okay, maybe we'll tell this on to her already. I mean, do you want to tell her? Do you want to call her and we do Nanda Danashtikam while you call? Mami Nanda Dandam?
Yeah, we didn't do Om Mantra Kirtan. I don't know, whatever you think I should do.
Well, I think just call this out too. See if they're ready. And yeah.
She says Sakura Somyasika. Okay, maybe she's watching.
264.
Krishna Kirtana Gana Nartana Pado Prema Mritambo Nidhi Dira Dira Jana Priya Priya Karo Dira Sara Pujito Shri Chaitanya Kripa Para Bhuri Bhuva Go ahead.
perpetually immersed in singing, dancing, and heartfelt kirtan of the name, form, qualities, pastimes, associates, and realm of Sri Krishna. The six Goswamis embody the ocean of nectarian love. Dear to both gentlemen and ruffians, always engaged in pleasing activities and completely free from envy, they are adored by all. They are the recipients of Sri Chaitanya's immense mercy, and they therefore remove the burden of the earth through the distribution of bhakti ras. I worship the six Goswamis, Sri Rup, Sri Sanatan, Sri Raghunath Bhatt, Sri Raghunath Das, Sri Ji, and Sri Gopal Bhatt.
They are uniquely expert in ascertaining the essence of all revealed scriptures, and they establish the supreme occupation of the soul, Bhagavad Bhakti. They are the true benefactors of the people, worshipful for the three worlds, and affectionate to those who have taken shelter of them. Due to the bliss of bhajan, of the lotus feet of Shri Radha and Krishna, they have become like intoxicated honeybees. I worship Shri Rup, Sanatan, Raghunath Bhatta, Raghunath Das, Jiva, and Gopal Bhatta Goswami.
They are enriched with deep faith in the process of describing the various qualities of Sri Gauranga. They nullify the great distress generated from the sinful activities of embodied beings by showering on them nectarian songs about Govinda. They are especially expert in expanding the ocean of bliss, and they rescue all from impersonalism by employing I worship Sri Rupa, Sanatana, Raghunath Bhatta, Raghunath Dasa, Jiva, and Gopala Bhatta Goswami.
They fully abandoned at once the association of kingly aristocracy. Deeming it insignificant and out of compassion, they humbly wore only loincloths and ragged quilts. Thereafter, they repeatedly immersed themselves in the delightful billowing waves in the nectareous ocean of ras. The bows felt by the gopis. I worship Sri Rupa Sanatana, Raghunath Bhatta, Raghunath Das, Jiva, and Gopal Bhatta Goswami.
They would pass their time by daily chanting a fixed number of holy names.
Crowded with sweetly clean cuckoos.
Crowded with sweetly cooing cuckoos, swans, and as well as groups of peacocks. Vrindavan is shining beautifully with trees that have many varieties of gems inlaid beneath their roofs. There, day and night, the Goswami's intense worship of Shri Shri Radha Krishna, intensely Raghunath Das, Jiva, and Gopal Bhatta Goswamis.
They would pass their time by daily chanting a fixed number of holy names, singing particular songs, and offering regulated obeisances to saints, deities, and the Lord's pastime places. Thus they fully conquered the urges of eating, sleep, recreation, and so forth, always considering
Haribo.
themselves to be
Haribo.
always consider
I can hear you. Dandavad Pranam.
always considering themselves to be ultimately lowly and insignificant. They became enriched to sweet rapture by remembering Sri Sri Radha Krishna's qualities. I worship Sri Rupa Sanatan, Raghunatha Bhatta, Raghunath Dasa, Jiva, Gopala Bhatta Goswami.
Wandering. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Your turn.
Wandering along the banks of Radhakund or the Yamuna, and sometimes at Vamsi Bhat, they would be forever seized by limitless transcendental states, intoxicated by the utter madness of pleasure. Overwhelmed with bhav, they would jubilantly sing about the exalted qualities of Sri Hari.
No.
I worship
No,
Sri
not really.
Rupa
I'm still
Sanatana,
working on
Raghunath
that.
Bhatt, Raghunath Das, Jeev, and Gopal Bhatt Goswamis.
Oh Radha, Queen of Vrindavan, oh Lalita, oh son of Nanda
Maybe I
Maharaj,
can
where are
end
you?
our live stream.
Are you beneath the
Yes.
Kalpavriksha trees of Sri Govardhan Hill?
Go into the actual phone sound settings, you can change the output.
Okay, wait. Share is helping me.
Like, if you were just,
Just swipe down from the top.
or just go to settings and type sound.
Yeah.
Oh Radha, oh Lalita, oh Nanda Maharaj, son of Nanda, where are you?
Sound and haptics, and then you might be able to change the output.
You could do it in Zoom, yes.
Try to back out and go to Bluetooth. There you go.
How? about, I'll just kind of keep working after you guys do that. Can we
Are you
just?
beneath the Kalpavriksha trees of Sri Govardhan Hill, or are you in the forest at the banks of the Kalindi? Thus calling out, greatly overwhelmed in separation, they would wander throughout the length and breadth of Ranjamandu and worship Shri Rup, Sanatan, Raghunath Bhatta, Raghunath Das Jiva, and Gopal Bhatta Goswami. Shri Sara Goswami's ki jai.
Jai.
It's already connected to the Bluetooth speaker, but it's automatically in tune. Okay, cool. Jai, thanks. Okay. Can you try now?
Hare Krishna.
Jai Nitai! Jai Nitai! Nitai figured it out.
Good. We need a new mic. Okay. Nobody's got their videos on. Nobody's got their videos on. Should I ask for that? What happened to the thing? Agyanatimirandasya Jnanasya Chakshunanvitam Tasmat Gurave Namah Gurave Prodachura
Down, yeah.
Krishna Krishna Bhaktaya Padabhataya Namo Namah Yam Yanta Madope Tamape Takrityam Dvaripaya Viravaka Varuajuha Putre Pitanayataya Saravo Banedo Tam Sar Vidayam Monimanatosmi Bhaktya Vihina Aparadalakshayi Chiptasya Kamadi Taram Ramadi Kripamaitam Sharanam Prapadi Vinde Namas Sharanadavindam Tavaivasmi Najiva Vikam Bina Iti Vikyaya Radhu Tam Naikam Bina Iti Vikyaya Radhu. Start off from my unlimited obeisances. Tam Naikam Bina.
I am sharing the comment for the link there, everybody's joining too.
First, I offer my unlimited obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful Diksha Gurudev, Nityam Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Astotra Sat Shishiman, Srila Bhakti Vedanta, Swami Prabhupada, and the same unlimited obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful Shiksha Gurudevs, Nityavila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Astotra Sat Shishiman, Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, and Shri Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj, and to our grandfather gurus, Shri Srimad Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Goswami Maharaj, and Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, to all of his divine associates, and to all the assembled devotees, and to the assembled devotees, Diksha Gurus or my Shiksha Gurus, Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Madhav Maharaj, Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Bhajan Maharaj and Sri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Siddhanti Maharaj, and to all of you. So I'm very happy to be with you again, but please excuse me, I think that in all this time I mostly forgot all Hari Katha, so please excuse any nonsense or mistakes that I may make. As you know, today is a very auspicious day, multifold, and that is it's Guru Purnima, or Guru Puja, or Vyas Puja. All the gurus who are following in the line of Srila Veda Vyasadeva are honored on this day. Therefore, it's called Guru Puja. But why is it called Vyas Puja? It's called Vyas Puja because today is the actual birthday of Vyasadeva, who's the compiler and author of the various Vedic literatures. He was born in the middle of a river on a boat.
21 miles per hour.
Father was His father was Parasara Rishi, and his mother was known as Matsya Ganda, the daughter of a fisherman. And he took her out into the middle of the boat and just meditated. And that way he impregnated her, and she immediately got her son, Vyasadeva. And he was already grown up. So he was leaving, but he told her that I'll always be there for you whenever you remember me. So Vyasadeva compiled all the Vedic literature. First, he compiled the 4 Vedas, which were very difficult to understand. And so he and his disciples broke them down and wrote 54. He compiled 54 Puranas, some in the mode of goodness, some in the mode of passion. The scriptures were not in the modes, but it was for those in the various modes of nature. And even that was difficult. So he compiled a history that was full of pastimes of Krishna and the Pandavas and their enemies, the Kauravas. And in that, there was so much philosophy. Within the Mahabharata was the Gita Upanishad, also called Bhagavad Gita, which you're all very familiar with, where Krishna is speaking to Arjuna, who is lamenting due to the bodily conception of life. The conclusion of that is to just surrender to him and be rid of all bogus religious systems. Don't hesitate, Krishna said. Don't fear. Just surrender and I will free you from all fear. So, yes, they did all that. He also wrote all the Upanishads, 108 Upanishads, but still he wasn't happy. And he didn't know why he wasn't happy. He was just lamenting. And so his guru, Narada Muni, appeared to him and asked, You've written so many books, so many scriptures. Why aren't you happy? He said, I don't know why I'm happy, Gurudev. You're my Gurudev, you should know. So his Gurudev Narada told him that whatever you've done, you've just come to Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. How to have better sense gratification in the heavenly planets. How to have religious activities with some return. How to achieve liberation. There was nothing about liberation, going back to Godhead. Yes, but what back to Godhead was, what's it like? There wasn't sufficient information, and that's why you're not happy. So here's my medicine, being your guru and your doctor. First, I want to know, have you written about the pastimes of Krishna? No, I don't know them. How could I write them? Well, have you written about Krishna being chastised by his mother and her twisting his ear when he did something wrong? No, Gurudev, I have not. Have you written about Krishna playing with his friends and being defeated? No, I am not. Well, have you written about Krishna surrendering to the gopis and putting his flute at their feet and saying to them, I have no capacity to repay you for your spotless service? No, Gurudev, I don't know about that. Then what have you done? You've done nothing. Although you've written about God, you haven't sufficiently personalized it by writing about his pastimes. So now go into trance and meditate from Krishna's birth to his disappearance. And after Narada left right away. Vyasadeva did just that. He began to meditate and he wrote what was most beneficial for all human beings and all living beings. Anartha upasamam shakshat bhakti yogam arhoksajay lokasya ajanataha vidvamschakre satvatasamhita. Vyasadeva saw that the whole world was covered by unwanted habits and thoughts, and by identifying with illusion, they were all suffering tremendously. So he wrote the Sattvata Samhita, the scripture in the mode of pure goodness, untouched by anything, even the mode of goodness. And that was, of course, Srimad Bhagavatam, the essence of all scriptures. And so we have that now down to the present day by the mercy of his Guru Parampara, coming down to the present day. And I want to also mention about what is Guru Puja. I think some of you might have already heard Gurudev's Harikatha of today. I'm going to speak about it in two different ways, and I'm hoping that you'll all study these things. Study Gurudev's whole lecture and read whatever you can together during the day about Guru Puja, about this day when all gurus are worshipped. So what is the meaning of worship? Like you'll be offering Guru Puja, or you'll be doing it tonight, offering Guru Puja with lamb and camphor and chamara and flowers. And the flowers represent the flowers of our heart. You've heard this many times. But Guru Puja is not the offering of flowers. Yes, it means offering our heart, but not just saying, I'm offering my heart in the form of these flowers. It means offering the entire heart, knowing that nothing belongs to me. Everything belongs to my Gurudev, including my body and including my mind. They all belong to Gurudev. Therefore, I chant and remember and do services just for his pleasure. I don't do anything for my pleasure, only for his pleasure. I don't have an independent life. My life, my body, my mind, my intelligence all belongs to Gurudev. And then he, on another occasion, he talked about the 3 different classes of disciples. That is, the first class disciple. Are you all there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, you're all on mute. The first class disciple will fulfill the Guru's desires, needs, without the Guru even asking. He'll just know the Guru's heart and he'll carry that out. Or even material things. Like if he sees that his Guru's lips are dry, he'll go and find him water. And he won't stop looking for water until he finds the right kind of water. Then he brings that to his Gurudev to drink. A good example of water is Agni, and that is, it was the monsoon season and the rain was terrible, constantly raining. That's actually the first day of that. Chaturmasi is like that. There's lots of rains, and so the pure devotees who are traveling, he stops traveling at that time and he stays in one place and preaches. Anyway, Aruni's Guru said it's terrible floods, so go and build a dam, otherwise all my agricultural fields will be ruined. So the disciple went and he kept trying to build a dam to hold back the water. But the dam kept melting away by the rains. So did he give up and said, well, and think, well, I tried my best? No, he himself became a dam. He lied down on the agricultural field and the rain couldn't pass him. It was so cold and so wet that he was practically dead in the morning. And his Gurudev went out to find him. He said, where are you? Where are you? And his disciple said, I'm here, Gurudev. And so he was so pleased with his disciples' surrender and unconditional service that he said, okay, now I'm blessing you with all knowledge and realization of the Vedic literatures. So when the disciples like that, then Guru is like that. And there are other such pastimes. Then there's the second class devotee, disciple. He waits for the Guru's orders, and then he does it. He figures out where to get water. He knows what kind of water. He knows whether it's bathing water or drinking water. And then there's the third class disciple who does the following when his Gurudev makes a request. Like he'll either do nothing, and then Gurudev would say, I asked you to get me some water. Well, that's actually the third class. I asked you to get me some water. And the disciple is just sitting there and listening. Didn't you hear I told you to get me some water? I know, Gurudev, I'm hearing. One is supposed to hear from the spiritual master. So that's the third class. There's lots of kind of third class. The second class will automatically know what to do once he hears the request. The third class, he'll either do that or he'll ask somebody else to go and carry out that order. Gurudev has asked for this, so you do it. Or he will ask Sri Guru, what kind of water do you want? Is it warm water or cold water? And when the Guru says what kind, he says, well, where shall I find the water? Next question, what if I can't find the water there? Where else shall I look? And then that's how he'll be. What if there is no water? Like he's making the Guru work more and more. Or he'll just say, if the third class really bogus disciple will say, oh Gurudev, I can't really do that. Can you ask somebody else? So those are the three classes of Gurudev. Now, all of you, I think, most of you, engage in puja to Radharaman Bihari and Sri Gaurahari. So you have this prayer called Shuddha Buddhi, which means purifying myself before I engage in the puja. And it's all in relation to his Guru. Like it begins, even before that prayer that we say every day, that is, Naham Vipro Nacha Narapati Nabhivaisho Nasudro. I'm not a Brahmana, I'm not a Kshatriya, I'm not a Vaishya, I'm not a Sudra, nor am I a Brahmachari, Grihastha, or Vanaprastha or Sannyasi. I am a being transcendental to this gross and subtle bodies. I'm a servant of the servant of the servant of the lotus feet of Sri Krishna, who maintains the gopis, or is maintained by the gopis, and who is the shelter of everyone, and who is full of transcendental bliss and the ocean of unlimited nectar. And how will I realize this? By the mercy of Sri Guru, because that's the prayer that he says, that he thinks before even uttering this prayer. And so I hope that if you haven't already memorized that, you can all memorize this and utter it daily That is, I am, by constitution, I'm an eternal servant of Sri Krishna. But by some misfortune, some very great misfortune, I have become averse to him since time immemorial. And I have been trapped by the cycle of repeated birth and death. And I've been burning in the great conflagration or fire of the three modes of nature, the threefold miseries. But then, somehow or other, meaning by the grace of Sri Guru, I've come to understand that I'm not this gross or subtle body, but I am a minute atomic servant of Krishna. And by his order, by his mercy, I'm now engaged in the service of Sri Guru Gauranga and Sri Radha Vinod Bihariji. And then after that one that we say together at the end of the morning program, there's one more that I hope you all say before engaging in your deity worship, which is that I meditate on myself as surrendered to my Gurudev. And I meditate on myself as greatly determined to serve him in all respects. I am wearing beautiful tilak on my head, which is this tilak is a representative of the temple of Sri Hari. I also meditate on myself as wearing a beautiful garland of tulsi neck beads. And I meditate on myself within, always absorbed in spiritual sentiments. So we have a tendency to think negatively about ourselves. Like, I'll never make it. I know that Gurudev is displeased with me. I can't please him. I do everything wrong. So this is the greatest positive affirmation, that I'm meditating on myself as this, because that's who I really am underneath all the coverings. And by the mercy of Sri Guru, we now are fortunate to observe Chaturmasya, which begins today, which is 4 months of specific fasting. That is the first month fasting from greens and a few other things, then fasting from milk, fasting from yogurt, fasting from sesame, and all the months fasting from honey, and fasting from certain other prohibited foodstuffs. So we read, and I hope that you'll be reading about the Chaturmasya of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is, he was in South India, and decided not to travel these 4 months. So he stayed in the house of, under the invitation of Bain Katapat and his family. And during that time, he converted them from being worshippers of Lakshmi Narayan to being worshippers of Radha and Krishna. And during that time, the son of the father and 2 uncles was Gopal Bhatta Goswami, not Goswami at that time, just a young boy. But he got to serve Mahaprabhu in various ways, cooking, cleaning his cloths, and so on. And after Mahaprabhu left, he also wanted to leave home, but Mahaprabhu told him to take care of his parents until they would die, and then he could leave, because his parents were devotees. And then there was, I forget his name. What was his name? Somebody help me. Prabodhananda? Prabodhananda, no. He became the author of Radha Rasa Sudhanidhi.
Yes, Prabodhananda Saraswati.
Okay, thank you. Prabodhananda Saraswati left first, went to Vrindavan, wrote so many books, all rasic books. And we tried to follow him to become Radhadasi gradually. And then the other incident of the 4 months is Narada Muni, when he was a child, only about 5 years old, and the 4 Kumaras, who were traveling preachers, stayed in his village for 4 months. And during that time, Narada was able to eat the remnants of their foodstuffs and hear Harikatha. He became so detached that when his mother died, but he was thinking, this mother is keeping me back. She just wants me to have a loving relationship with her and maybe a little bit of bhakti. But as soon as his mother died from a snake bite, he looked at her once and then left and went to the forest for chanting and meditating. And then he realized the Lord by an aerial voice. And then at the end of that life, he realized perfection and became the eternal Narada Muni, who can travel throughout all the spiritual and material worlds without a spaceship or anything, just flying and playing his veena and his clappers. And so we want to be very strict in following all these rules, because Gurudev said without following, then we can't have any bhakti. And we also know that without offering and doing everything under the guidance and order and mercy of Sri Guru, we also can't have any bhakti, since our everything belongs to him. Our soul belongs to him. There's that one bhajan which states, actually it's a bhajan by Gurudev, Guru Charana Kamala. And there he says, I incessantly chant the holy names, and at the same time always remembering my Gurudev. So today is also the disappearance day of Sri Sanatana Goswami. I think, confirm if you will, that Nitai Prabhu read about Sanatana Goswami's life.
Yes, he
That
did.
life from when he was a servant of the government to when he got thrown in jail by the Nawab.
Nitai's saying
And
yes.
yes,
Yeah.
and then when he escaped and met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then was inquiring who I am, who am I, why are these threefold miseries attacking me?
He says
You
that's
got
where
up
he
to
likes
that?
it. Yeah.
What?
Yes.
And then you read Mahaprabhu's answer.
No.
Just the question. So Mahaprabhu told him that actually you know the answer. You know why the living entity is suffering. You're not suffering from the threefold miseries, but you know why the living entity is suffering. And you know who you are very well. But a saintly person will inquire just for the benefit of others. So for the benefit of others, I'm answering. And you are completely fit to propagate devotional service. So therefore, I'm telling you all these truths one by one. And then I'm hoping all of you can memorize and explain many of these subsequent verses by the Lord. It's the very basic whole philosophy. So what did he first say? Jiver Swarupa Hoy, Krishnera Nityadas. Krishnera Tatasta Shakti, Veda Veda Prakash. That the living entity is by nature, by constitution, an eternal servant of the Lord. So here's an example of disciple and guru. Sanatana Goswami, it's not known who's his guru. And he never got formal initiation. But he and Rupa Goswami actually got initiation from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, because the real meaning of initiation is to follow all the thoughts and behavior on the concepts and the life of Sri Guru, which Sanatana Goswami did. So he said, the living entity is constitutionally an eternal servant of Sri Krishna. He's the marginal energy of Krishna, a manifestation simultaneously one with and different from the Lord. But we may not be so familiar with the second part, which is Suryang Sakirana Yaiche Agani Jwala Chaya Swabhavika Krishnera Tina Prakara Shakti Hoya. Like a molecular particle of sunshine or fire. So we're part and parcel of Krishna, like a molecular particle of the sun or fire, particle of sunshine. And then Krishna has three varieties of energy. What are those energy? Material energy, marginal energy, and spiritual energy. So the sun or the fire is situated in one place, but the fire's illumination or energy is spread everywhere. Similarly, the Lord is in one place, but his energies, he has unlimited energies, but they're divided into three. And so Mahaprabhu keeps going. So for about, I would say 6 or 7, which I hope that you'll study and learn, because it's the whole philosophy in a nutshell. Then Mahaprabhu says, and Gurudev used this particular verse as one of the verses to prove that we didn't fall down from Goloka Vrindavan. Krishna boli se jeev anadya baramukh atoyava maya tari deha samsarari dukh. Forgetting Krishna, the living entity has been attracted by the illusory material energy from time immemorial. Therefore, the illusory energy or Maya gives him all kinds of miseries in this material existence. And then I'm skipping some for now, but I hope that you'll learn them. And we're going to one more important verse that Gurudev is always quoting. Bayam dutiya vinibesitasya isadapetasya viparjayo smriti tanmayayato uda avajetam bhaktyai Gurudeva Tatma. Now Gurudev translated this in a little bit different way than Prabhupada did, but they're both bona fide. When the living entity is attracted by the material energy, which is separate from Krishna, and Gurudev said when the living entity forgets that there's nothing beyond Krishna, besides Krishna, and he sees duality, there's Krishna and something else. That's the cause of his fear. And now his conception of life is reversed. In other words, instead of thinking of himself as an eternal servant of Krishna, now he thinks he's Krishna's companion, and thus he suffers. So in Prabhupada's words, and so therefore, to get out of this, he takes shelter of the Supreme Lord as his spiritual master, as his worshipful deity, and as the source of life. He thus worships the Lord by the process of devotional service. And Gurudev has a whole booklet, which is called Gurudeva Tatma. He began the lectures, the series of lectures in Mawillambar by saying, today is Guru Day. And all the lectures were about Guru, including this one, where he's saying that the way out is to worship Sri Guru as the representative of the Supreme Lord. And Sri Guru is your worshipful deity, the source of your life, and non-different from your Atma, from your soul. And he's present even in your soul. So I guess that's a good place to end. And I'll ask if there's any questions. No questions? You can unmute yourself and see if there's any questions. Was it too boring? That's why you don't have questions?
There's one question from Murali Vadana Das.
Yeah.
Can you plan, like, you know, I guess some other services that you could do for the Guru, and that could be considered also listed in one of the 3 categories for service to the Guru?
It certainly can when the Guru says yes, very good. Like I wrote to Prabhupada in the 70s. He gave me the service of painting. And then I wrote to him and said, can I change my service and do book distribution? Because I enjoy that much more. There were immediate results, which there weren't in painting. Painting was very grueling for me, year after year, even up to the latest painting, which is Kunst Kirtan. So then he wrote me back, no, your specific talent is painting, but you can do book distribution sometimes, because even in spiritual life, variety makes one more fit for work. So that's an example of, I checked in with him But certainly, if you have other talents, please offer them and then confirm that, yes.
Thank you.
After Sri Guru physically leaves, then you can confirm it with senior devotees or Shiksha Guru like that. Why, what talent do you have?
I do art, but I do mechanic work also, and I'm just a general laborer, Guru Devi, but I just don't really know what else to say.
I don't get what you're saying.
I'm sorry, I'm just a general laborer, Guru Devi, yeah, so I don't really know what to do.
Well, you're already doing a very great service of distributing books and preaching and going out on Harinam. That's perfect. And of course, in the temple, there are duties. Making the temple, is that third verse, I think, about the spiritual master and the Guru Vastakam, which is that he's always cleaning the temple and engaged in deity worship. So, Sri Vigrahara Dhanani Tenana, so you'll want to engage in assisting with that as well. But you're doing a great service now, right from the beginning. Even in New York, nobody asked you to go out, you just went out by yourself and set up a table and distributed. That's beautiful.
I did it with my godbrother to help me.
Nice. Any other questions? Last question, because I know you will also be speaking.
Other people on Zoom. I don't know.
Hare Krishna, Rory.
I don't know who all these people are.
What'd you say?
There's other people on the Zoom too.
And there's other people on the Zoom besides the temple devotees. They're so gorgeous. Radharindran Bihari.
Yay. Wow.
You're so fortunate to have such beautiful, big deities. Haribol Lavanga and and Shambhati Hari, you're still here. Thank you. So any last question? So that you can also speak.
Shambhi Hari says he's excited to see you. He was wondering, he wanted to know when you're coming back.
August 4th.
Will you stay?
Yes.
Oh,
Well, I know that you have important duties because you're the leader of a temple there. And I think Costa Rica.
Nanda Moy and Chandramani.
And Ananda Moya is there and Chandramani. So happy to see you. Any last question? Otherwise, we'll stop here. What?
Krishnamai's there.
Krishnamai what? Krishnamai's there.
Somebody
Dhanavad
asked,
Pranam. Yes?
sorry, somebody asked in the chat if you'll go to Costa Rica.
Somebody what?
They asked in the chat if you'll go to Costa Rica. Jai Shri Devi Dasi from Costa Rica wants to know if you'll go to Costa Rica.
And there's your soda. Dhanavad Pranam. Thank you for being there.
Anyway.
It depends on, I would say, health. So we'll see.
She was there too.
Oh.
Oh,
Krishnamai and Shiva.
oh, Shiva's there too.
And now come to Julie. Let's go.
Chile.
Leela Dasi.
Thank you. Oh,
Leela.
okay, we'll end there because there's no further questions. And thank you for all your beauty and devotional service. And I want to become your humble servant and follow in your footsteps. Thank you for allowing me to speak on this most auspicious occasion. Panchakalpataruvyascha kripasindhubheva patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namaha. Are they going to speak now? Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Did I go to Hare Bo? Hare Bo? Haribo.
I like your haircut, Basanti.
Haribo.
Haribo. Come on, Haribo.
Anchakopteri Vesa.
Sendiri baca. Titinam pagli. Baik. Orma. Anu nggak pernah.
She's like a little goatee. Gopis have long hair. Just saying.
Who's prepared to speak this morning?
I'm semi-prepared.
Okay. Is anybody fully prepared?
If no one's fully prepared, I could say something.
I think anyone who can go now should, because there's a lot of people tonight. And also there's people coming tonight that aren't even here.
Is it gonna be on live stream or it's just us?
I'll go now since I'm fully prepared. And then if you want, you can prepare the rest of yours while, I don't know if it's right. I mean, I think it's fine.
How long
Prepare the
should we
rest of
be
yours.
speaking for?
At least 10 minutes.
What if we can't?
And you do what you can.
Are we speaking from a book or are we just speaking?
Well, generally speaking, best if you can speak, for the most part, not from the book. You can use references, of course.
On which personality or just Guru in general?
Guru Tattva.
Okay.
Just want to get the microphone set up.
Surprised I quit 10 minutes ago.
Just take your time on the invocation, that's 5 minutes right
We have a lot of people going. That's 5 minutes.
Magyana. Just want to check that it's working. The sound is on Facebook. If you don't mind. Read. Oops, hold on, click the wrong one. Okay. Test, test, test. Test, test, test. All right, cool. Sorry. Deham Shri Gurun. Oh, sorry, it's going back to me. Sorry. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Gauda Prishtaya Bhutare Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Vana Iti Namane Vandeham Bhakti Chakoram Gauranganija Prashtitam Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Samivananamastubhyam Shri Radhe Kanishtitam Nasayana Katamritam Sankirtanam Nandadam Gosaminam Varanamaha Shamaranim Mataram Vande Agnopiyad Anugrahat Tagarat Baba Sagarachcha Labetcha Krishna Premandanam Shri Krishna Rupaya Vaidiki Kala Visheshagnaya Namamyaham Pujam Shamaranim Swapadhikaraya. And there's one more verse that I want to say. Pardon me, because I'm going to have to look it up. One day we'll memorize it is the word, but for right now we have the phone. Vaigunya kita kalita paishunya vranapidita danyar naveni gamoham chaitanya vaidham ashraye. I'm infected by the germs of material activity and am suffering from the boils of envy. Therefore, falling in a notion of humility, I take shelter of the great physician, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I offer my respectful Danva pranams into the lotus feet of my Guru, my Diksha Guru Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Vanga Samaraj, my Shiksha Guru Pujaniya Srimati Shamrani Didi, my Param Gurus, especially today, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Samaraj and Sri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. We're going to be hearing from them, to our entire Rupanuga Guru Gaudiya Varga, and to all of you. Thank you so much. And also today to Srila Sanatana Goswami, Srila Krishna Vaipyana Veda Vyas, to our whole Rupanuga Guru Gaudiya Varga, doing my best to offer gratitude. So, in fact, actually today what I wanted to speak on is what is Rupanuga. We're Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Varga. What does that mean? There's a fantastic video which I will send out on all the chats, really explaining what Rupanuga is. What is it that we're about? Are we about anything? Is it you just do whatever you want and you get to wherever you go and that's cool, man? That would be cool, but the thing is, like, they used to say that all roads lead to Rome, but nobody says all airplanes go to London. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta actually get on the right plane. And so and the importance of this destination is given by Srila Prabhupada actually probably immediately from when he came to the West. Does anybody know the first book that Srila Prabhupada wrote? Easy Journey to Other Planets. And does anybody know, and so Easy Journey to Other Planets, it's about getting to the spiritual destination. So from the outset, Srila Prabhupada is giving to us what is our destination. It is not something material, it is something transcendental, and it's very clearly defined. He is speaking about the transcendental abode of Sri Radha Krishna. So it's important then to understand what is so distinctive about Rupanuga Guru Gaudiya Varga, even Rupanuga Gaudiya, because there we are Gaudiya, which is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What is Rupanuga? So we heard how just from Guru Devi how both Srila Sanatana Goswami and Srila Rupa Goswami were initiated by Lord Chaitanya. He directly gave them direct instructions for all jivas. And so Rupanuga, does anybody know what the word anuga means? Let me actually take this step back. Rupa, does anyone want to guess what Rupa refers to? Yeah, that's why I mentioned him.
What did you say?
Rupa Goswami.
Okay.
And so anuga means following in the footsteps of. So Rupanuga, it means we're following in the footsteps of Rupa Goswami. We are Gaudiya Vaishnavas, meaning we're following the conceptions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and as Rupanugas, we are following them as it was then descending from Srila Rupa Goswami. And so, what is Rupanuga? Because it's a really cool sounding word. It is, but there needs to be more to it. Has anybody heard the words Rag Anuga or Ragatmika? So Rag Anuga, Rag is deep absorption, deep attachment, spontaneous feelings. We've heard of Vaidhi Bhakti and Rag Bhakti. Vaidhi Bhakti, that means when we're doing it because this is what the book says. The book says you don't eat meat. Good, done. Whereas Raganuga, it's literally a movement of the heart. There is nothing external that has any sort of sway over it. It is done out of deep absorption and deep love for the object of one's love. And we hear in Pinnacle of Devotion, this is only available in those who are in Vrindavan. This is not seen in any of the other spiritual planets. There are unlimited spiritual planets. The topmost is Golok Vrindavan. This is the only place where they are worshiping the Lord from this inherent place of spontaneous love, purely for His pleasure. And so, Ragatmika, so there's Vaidhi. We can kind of move past Vaidhi because that's not what most of this conversation is going to be about, this talk. Rag Anuga. So then Raganuga, Rupanuga. They have the same first letter. This last 5 or 6. I'm not counting that quickly. What Anuga? I guess that's 6. And so what's the difference? So Rag Anuga applies to actually I was just reading in Gauravani Pracharine. It actually doesn't apply to anybody in Braj. Because those who are in Braj, Rag Anuga means following in the footsteps of. Those who are in Braj, they already have it. So those are called Rag Atmika. I'm kind of regret having brought that up because it's now just throwing another wrench in there, but just so you all know. So there's Rag Anuga and Rup Anuga, following in the footsteps of those who already have spontaneous loving devotion, and then specifically following in the footsteps of Rupa Goswami. So the eternal associates of Krishna, and in Vrindavan, they all are Rag Atmika. They already have Rag. Those who are aspiring to become an eternal resident of Vrindavan, we hear this especially from Srila Rupa Goswami in Upadeshamritam verse number 8 and in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu verse 1294. Verse 1294, they're essentially the same verse. They're very similar verses about how the essence of all advice is that one should, 24 hours a day, living in Braj, if not physically, then by mind, engage the tongue and the mind in the sequential chanting and remembering of Sri Krishna's names, forms, qualities, and pastimes. 24 hours a day. So once the day ends, you're back at 24 again. So you just keep doing it. You don't stop it. You don't even stop and think, okay, day's over. It's continuous. And so this is the essence of all advice. I am very sorry because I forgot where I was going with that thought. So right. So, we must follow in the footsteps. So thanks, I forgot the key element to that verse is that this is all being done under the guidance. In Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the actual translation is that it's following in the footsteps of one who is an ocean for the mood for which we aspire. And so, what is the mood that we aspire for? This is the topic of Swarup of the Jiva. Sorry, let me actually pause for a second because I skipped a little ahead on the thought there. So within our own, so Swarupa the Jiva explains to us how we understand what is that mood that we aspire for. Within our lineage, through the times of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, this is what Sri Sundar Gopal Prabhu, who is an expert on Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he has literally a PhD from Oxford University, like one of the top schools in the world, about Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. So through the time of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, there was literally no doubt that the Sarup is fixed and that it is awakened it is awakened by a Nityasiddha. This is now quoting Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, I want to say 19, 107, and 105 and 107. It might be 22, 107 and 105. That Bhav Bhakti is an eternally existing potentiality in the heart of all jivas. It is not dependent on anything external. It is not in any way, shape, or form changed by one sadhan. It is awakened by a Nitya Siddha Guru in a heart that has been purified by sadhan. So we perform sadhan, and then the Guru, through their mercy, awakens that bhav that is already present. Everything about it is eternal. And since it is eternal, that means the services that it performs, all of the moods, everything that is inherent in that relationship with Radha Krishna is already there, present within the jiva. I'm trying to not go so far on time because this is like a very important subject that Guru Devi took. I mean, she took the time to write, to compile a book that is so amazing that my Guru Maharaj has literally said this is as important as Srimad Bhagavatam. There are people who now these days are actually losing their connection with Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, with our Rupanuga Guru Gaudiya Varga, because they are thinking, oh, my Sarup can change, my Sarup isn't fixed, it can associate. But it's all extremely clearly elucidated by every single one of our acharyas, and Sarupa the Jiva, which is, just as far as publications go and books go, fantastic. I mean, like the level of detail that Guru Devi puts into these paintings, she put 20 years of her life in service to editing and publishing on a very kind of like silent level, or like background kind of level. She put that detail and that understanding into book editing and book publishing, and so it's so good, just on like a technical book publishing level, and also on like the contents too. So Rupanu, sorry, I know I've jumped a bit. So that it's inherent within us. What is it that we are seeking for? That mood at which we aspire for is 1,000% inherent within us. It is not changed by anything. It is awakened by the Nitya Siddha. And so so that as Rup Anuga, we are not aimed at just residence in Vrindavan. Because residence Rag Anuga includes there's this one verse. I'm sorry, I'm not going to go, just because we're short on time, I'm not going to go into verses. But there's like it includes the trees, the creepers, the shrubs, I'll do the English for it, the insects, the snakes, they're all very dear to Krishna. And they help to enrich his pastimes. They're all transcendental and they're very dear to him. That's Vrajavalastavam verse 1. Sorry, my Guru Maharaj asked me to learn that verse. It's like a verse on my mind. I've been learning it. So that also includes all of the servants that live in Nanda Baba Yasoda Mai's homes that serve Krishna with the mood of, I am Krishna's servant. That includes all the cowherd boyfriends. That includes his parents, Yasoda Mai and Nanda Baba. And it includes the gopis. As a Rup Anuga, we are following Rupa Goswami, who is his internal form, his transcendental spiritual form is as Rup Manjari. Rup Manjari. So Rup Manjari, that is a very specific, as a Manjari Bhav is a very specific type of rag. It's a very specific relationship. Whereas everybody in Vrindavan is Ragatmika, only a small selection are Rupagatmika, are actually gopis. And it's also a very specific type of gopi. So we hear in the 4th verse of Chaitanya Charitamrita is Anarpita Churim Charat Karunaya Virtina Kalo Samarpaitam Unatujvala Rasam Swabhakti Shriyam Hari Pradata Sundara Duty Kadamba Sandipita Siddhahraya Kandare Spu Suratu Va Shachinandana. Which means, may the Supreme Lord, who is known as the son of Srimati Shachi Devi, be brilliantly situated in the innermost core of your heart. Resplendent with the radiance of molten gold, he has descended in this age of Kali by his own mercy to give that which no other incarnation has come to give before, the most divine and sublime mellow, radiant and sublime mellow of devotional service. That is Manjari Bhav, the confidential moods of the Manjaris, maid servants to Srimati Radhika. And very important is it's not just any sort of friendship with Srimati Radhika. In fact, sorry, I'm trying to other verses are coming up. In fact, actually, we hear from Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, who is the preeminent follower of Rupa Goswami. Padamjayosta Tavina Vardadasim Eva. For the sake of time, I'm not gonna, there's no need for me to just be like, well, I know verses. This one, what he's saying is that this is what Srila Gurudev says is the topmost prayer of Radhadasyam. He's praying, O Devi Radhike, I am not praying for anything except the most exalted direct service to your lotus feet. Time and again I offer my obeisances from afar to a position as your friend, but I vow my unwavering devotion will only be as your servant. Do you guys, I know I've gone pretty far over time. Okay, fine. And so Srila Gurudev says this is what we are aspiring for. This is the topmost prayer for Radhadasyam as a Palya Dasi of Srimati Radhika, like a confidential maidservant. An extremely important distinction is here as well, is we are not, and this is what Srila Gurudev gives in Pinnacle of Devotion. So what is that verse, Anarpita Shrim Charat, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to give that which has not been given in a very long time, the highest, most sublime mellow of devotional service. So the word within this verse is Swa Bhakti Shriyam, the most beautiful mellow of devotional service. This is Radhika's own love. And this is only available, we cannot reach that level of being Srimati Radhika or similar. What is available is to serve her. And that means tat tat bhav ich atmika. Or in our case, ichamoy. That means a specific type of gopi that is completely disinterested in having any relationship whatsoever with Krishna. In fact, there's I heard from my Guru Maharaj, and I've heard it from our Guru Devi as well, how sometimes Srimati Radhika will test one of the new gopis, and she'll send Krishna over to her, and Krishna might try kissing her, try bringing her close, and she'll say, no. And Krishna might try again anyway, and eventually she'll, help me, Srimati Radhika, help me! But she'll tell Krishna, why are you trying to do this? You get more pleasure meeting with Srimati Radhika, and I get more pleasure in the meeting of you with Srimati Radhika. So go, get away. And so this is Rup Anuga, is aspiring for that maid service. And so the last thing that I wanted to really touch on is that this is what all of our Rupa Nuga Guru Gaudiya Varga came to give. This is what, at the time of Srila Prabhupada, especially after his departure, there was a lot of questions and speculating of well, I think he was this. He liked pockets on his shirt, so he was a cowherd boy. He said he's a friend of Krishna. He's a boy. He's definitely a boy. And Srila Gurudev gave deep scriptural evidence to explain how to, at least from an intellectual level, until we can become qualified to actually, for Prabhupada to actually expose in our hearts his form, his eternal spiritual form, how we can understand who our Rupa Nuga Guru Gaudiya Varga is,
how we can understand that they are manjaris. And so in the Guru Vashtakam, which we sing, the first one that we sing in the morning, Samsara Davana, Nalita Loka, Trinaya Karuna, Ganaganatvam. So the Gurudev explains that the first 4 verses of this are things that we can see. They're actual traits of Sri Guru that we can see. We can see that, Sri Guru is an ocean of mercy. He's a condensed cloud of mercy, and he's an ocean of auspicious qualities. Wow. We can see that Sri Guru is dancing, singing, and playing instruments during the kirtan, and sometimes she shows transcendental symptoms. That's the second verse. The third verse, as Guru Devi said, we see that Guru Devi is always serving Sri Vigraha, and if not directly with her own body, through her angas, through the devotees. And then the fourth one, I guess we can kind of see, because it says Guru is always satisfied to seeing the devotees honoring the 4 kinds of Bhagavat Mahaprasad. And Srila Gurudev explains, from this, we can understand how high the mountain is. We can understand from Srila Prabhupada his glories as this great mountain within the Himalayas, standing brilliantly tall. But we see his Aishwarya. We're seeing he made so many disciples in no time. No time. The entire world, literally the entire world, knows Hare Krishna in 12 years of work. It's crazy. And so we can see how high the mountain is, but we can't see how deep it goes. Srila Gurudev explains that the next 2 verses, which is how Sri Guru is always experiencing intense greed in his heart to relish the unlimited sweetness of the names, forms, qualities, and pastimes of Sri Sri Radha Madhava. And then the following verse, which is one of the important verses to understand our Guru Varga, our Rupanuga Guru Gaudiya Varga, as a confidential maidservant of Srimati Radhika, Nikunja Yuno Ratti Keli Siddhai, Yayali Bir Yuktir Tekshaniya. I'm sorry that I'm for some reason blanking on saying the rest of it. Tatrati Dyakshad Ati Valabhasya Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam. So, and the English is that in carrying out. Oh, also, so a big reason I picked this verse is because this is what I wanted to speak on. This verse is because the first visit that Sripad Bhaktivedanta Madhav Maharaj came, he was giving a class at Sashikala Mata's house, and he called on me for the translation of this verse, and I kind of just brain and Gurudev was chastised. It's okay, must learn it. So we need to impress you all. I have it memorized. That in carrying out the arrangement for Shri Shri Radha Krishna's amorous pastimes in the pleasure groves of Vrindavan forest, Shri Gurudev is masterfully adept and thus especially dear to them. Okay, cool. Now that I memorized it. So this verse is very specifically saying Shri Guru is a manjari. He is a confidential maidservant of Srimati Radhika, carrying out the orders for the perfection of their meeting. There are people who at the time when there's the questions of when there was so many more questions about Srila Prabhupada's pure spiritual form, they would say, well, the Sakas serve too. And there is some scriptural evidence for this, which is in Jiva Goswami, one of Jiva Goswami's books. Though Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, who also wrote our Guru Vashtakam, explains that the Sakas, they're not directly serving the conjugal mood. They're not directly serving conjugal. In Jiva Goswami's writings, they are fanning it says they fan the divine couple during the conjugal meeting. But it's explained they're actually outside the kunj, and these are only the extremely intimate sakas, and there's some contraption they can pull a rope, basically, and that fans them. But they're not actually directly involved with the moods and with the actual meeting between Radha and Krishna. Anyway, in the kunj. So Gurudev explains to us that we can't understand the depth of our Rupanuga Guru Gaudiya Varga. We can't understand the depths of their moods until we're at the same level as them. They said, even if, so there's the beginner stage, there's the intermediate stage, then there's the highest stage. It says until we're at the highest stage, we can't actually understand how deep the mountain goes. Even when we're at the middle stage, which is like super elevated, we can't understand. So, I want to just conclude and bring everything back together, that the purpose and aim of this is to establish that we are our Guru Varga, our Rup Anuga gurus, they are all following. We are following in the footsteps of Rupa Goswami. We are Rup Anuga. They are actually Rupatmika. They are actually already there. Still, we say through their actions and activities in this world, they perform a pastime as though they are Anuga, but they are already internally there. Anyway, I'm trying to not be like too many more confusing concepts into this. But the aim and object is to say they are understanding, and the conception that's been given and revealed, especially so much by Param Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, and especially by his intimate servant, Srimati Shamrani Didi, is that they are all confidential maidservants of Srimati Radhika. They are all desirous to see the meeting of the conjugal mellow between Radha and Krishna, and serving that in any way in their mandri form. Gaura Premanande. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gauda Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gauda Hari Bol, Nitai Gauda Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gauda Hari Bol.
Stopping here.
It seemed like it. Do you prepared?
I mean, I think we can stop, but I'm a little worried that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people are gonna speak.
I can speak.
Yeah, I think at least we can fire off whoever can go now. Do you agree?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah.
I just restarted, so I just
Okay.
thought.
I'm fighting permission.
You ready? You ready, Prabhu?
I just have verses in mind, but she can go.
Yes, we will.
Om Gyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. First of all, paying my obeisances, unlimited obeisances to my Gurudev, Shri Bhaktivedanta Madhav Goswami Maharaj, and my Shiksha Guru, Srimati Shamrani Didi, and to Sri Vyasadev, and to Srila Sanatana Goswami, and to our entire Rupanuga Guru Varga on this divine day where we can glorify them. So I decided to take a little from my Gurudev's book on Srila Gurudev. It's called Srila Gurudev, the Supreme Treasure. And it's basically a biography of his life, but it's like condensed Siddhanta all the time, everywhere, and just a lot of Srila Gurudev's lectures and stuff. So yeah, he has a section on Vyas Puja and Guru Purnima. So I'm just gonna read a few things from there. So, my Gurudev explains, this is from Srila Gurudev's lecture. So, Sri Vyas Puja is the most holy appearance of Sri Vyasadev and his representative, Sri Guru. And And the real meaning of Vyas Puja is to surrender oneself completely at Srila Gurudev's lotus feet and fulfill his desires. And he also says the factual meaning of Vyas Puja is to follow the path of hearing the authentic message of the Guru Parampara that Sri Guru delivers, and its purpose is to prepare oneself for service of Sri Hari under the guidance of Guru and Vaishnavas. So he also gives like these interesting definitions of Vyas. He explains that Vyas is like a line connecting two sides of a circle, and the top of the circle is a spiritual world, and the other side of the circle is a material world. And this is called Vyas. He explains that a bona fide guru's knowledge is like a circle, and like a circle, it covers every point. So this is the spotless knowledge of Sri Guru as a representative of Vyasadeva. And he also explains that Vyas means to spread. So just like any pure Vaishnava that we see, Vyas eagerly spreads the glories of Sri Krishna everywhere, describing the Lord's name, form, qualities, and pastimes. So what else? I just have very rudimentary things to say. So, also, he said something about Srila Sanatana Goswami and how it's such a special day because usually we're glorifying Krishna, but who is the most beloved of Krishna are his devotees. So, and his devotees actually can capture and control Krishna. So today we also glorify Srila Sanatana Goswami, and there's this great pastime of him. When he was in his old age, he was on Govardhan Parikrama. He would do every single day, and it was a very hot Vrindavan day, and he was feeling very faintly and tired, and then two cowherd boys appeared, and Krishna and Balaram appeared to him, and they told him, you're too old to continue doing this austerity. It's okay, you don't have to continue. And he said, I can never stop. This is my vow. I will do it till my last breath. So, Krishna and Balaram, Krishna was covering the sun with his pitambar, his yellow cloth, and Balaram was giving him air with his cloth. And so the solution they gave is that they gave him the amazing Govardhan Shila that's at Sri Sri Radha Damodar temple with Krishna's footprints, his flutes, imprint of his cow herding stick, and auspicious imprint of a cow hoof print. And so that's and my Gurudev also said, just a special thing, that if you ask the pujari at the temple, you can get a special darshan of the Shila. And so he said he can just circumambulate that 4 times, and it'll be the same as doing full Govardhan Parikrama, so like we do every morning. So, about spreading wisdom. Srimati Sharmani Didi once told me that the best service is informing and sharing wisdom. Sorry, okay. Anyway, and then the last thing I wanted to read from here. So, Gurudev says in one of his lectures, Vyaspuja does not mean that a devotee or disciple will worship me, give Pushpanjali to me, and that I will take their offerings. That is not Vyaspuja. My Vyasapuja means that I will do Vyasapuja on this day. I will worship my Guru Padapadma, the four Sampradaya Acharyas, Sri Sampradaya, Ramanuja Acharya, Brahma Sampradaya, Madhva Acharya, Ruja Sampradaya, Vishnu Swami, and Sanak Sampradaya, Nimbaditya. I will worship them by my own hand. I will give them sandalwood pulp. I will make offerings, offer Pushpanjali at their lotus feet, make garlands, do arti, and offer prasad to them by my own hand. Moreover, I will pay my obeisances and offer Pushpanjali, arti, and so forth to my Paramadradhya Sri Guru Padapadma Sri Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, who dragged me from my police service and by force made me drink the nectar of the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I will worship him. This is my Vyasa Puja. Seeing this, my devotees or disciples will make offerings to me, but I am not the enjoyer of that. I will take all their offerings and offer them to my Guru Padapadma, and he will send them through the Guru Parampara to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the divine couple. This is the significance of Vyasa Puja. However, then I also wanted to read this one, which I thought was very sweet. The Guru never thinks that he is making so many disciples. These are all Krishna's wealth. They are all very fragrant, very smooth, and very sweet flowers. Guru takes them and offers them at the lotus feet of Srimati Radhika. Guru only does this. He never thinks, oh, all the disciples are my property. Never. A real Guru thinks that all the disciples are very sweet, fragrant, small flowers of Radha and Krishna conjugal. The Guru offers the disciple like a flower at Radhika's lotus feet. She then places that flower in a garland and puts that garland around Krishna's neck. There's one other thing that Gurudevi once told me about when we offer our hearts as flowers to Sri Krishna's lotus feet, that we can pray and meditate that our hearts we're offering like the most fragrant, beautiful flowers, but then ask Krishna to not keep it for himself, to please offer it to his Srimati Radhika. So, yeah, I think that's all I have.
Agyan Timirandasya Gyananjana Salakya Sakral Militamyana Tasme Shri Guruve Nama Nama Om Vishwavadaya Krishna Prasthaya Buddha Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Tinamine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurani Prasharne Nirshishishwamati Prashata Deshu Tarne Jai Shri Gurudevi Jai Shri Gurudev. So, how to differentiate between a karmi, a jnani, a yogi, and a sutta bhakta? Om Jnana Timirandasya. We come into this world in great darkness. Timirandasya. Timiran, that is a fish that we can see that is in this universe, is very great. As explained in the Mahabharata, that there are many forces against Arjuna who are like the great Timiran fish. I'm not too sure of the pronunciation, but it's based on that. So we are in this darkness. We are like Arjuna in this world, trying to find out what to do with our duty, what to do with our lives, what to do in this crisis of samsara. So this samsara can be resolved by surrendering to a guru. Arjuna could not do in the first chapter because he was explaining himself what his dilemma was and what he was thinking was best for himself. but actually he realized that he was incorrect with his judgment and he had to surrender. But if we had to choose from these four, a karmi, jnani, yogi, a shuddha bhakta, we have to understand each of them. A karmi, he can tell you, as spoken by, I think there is a discussion on how to get free from material entanglement. I think it's between two personalities in the Srimad Bhagavatam, where first they go on penance. You go through the rituals trying to counteract the karmic reactions. So that is the karmi's position. The karmi is going to tell you, yes, you worship Surya, yes, you worship Varun, yes, if you want a beautiful wife, you worship her. But when that was presented, I believe that was to the king. Forgive me for my memory. It was the king who was talking to Sukadeva Goswami. So when that king heard from Sukadeva Goswami this proposition, he says, "This is preposterous because it does not absolve the person from the sinful reactions of this life. So therefore, this cannot be." So therefore, Sukadeva Goswami said, "Yes, this is correct." So therefore, you have to absolve yourself from sin through knowledge. So you have to understand what is what from the Vedas. So then after contemplating a little bit, then the king understood, yes, you can absolve yourself from many sins from that knowledge, but actually, even then, you have the sin, the seed of sin within the heart, the tendency to perform bad reactions. Although within this conversation, the yogi was not spoken about, I would refer to the Guru Darshan spoken by Sri Guru Dev, the biography of Sri Guru Dev's life, where as a young child, maybe around his teens, he was in a school and one of his schoolmates was very, very naughty. So later on, the teacher locked him in the shed, and this kid, he was actually screaming in the shed saying, "Please help me, there's a snake killing me. There's a snake killing me, sucking my blood." So the teacher would not hear it, but the students were hearing, like, is this Prabhu all right? So later on, after the class was finished, the teacher's like, he opens the door. "Hey, Bhagawan, he's dead." The snake was wrapped around him. And then everyone was like crowding around us. They were just wailing and screaming. And then Guru Dev, he came in the scene and he says, "Do not fear, don't worry. We must chant the mantras of Garuda, and then the snake will run away because Garuda is the enemy of the snakes." So as they were chanting those mantras from Ramayan, the snake slithered away. So after that, they were thinking what to do with his boy. And then Guru Dev says, we have to pray to Bhagawan. Either we pray for the soul to come back or pray that he goes to a better life. So once they prayed, then the boy came back to his body. And the boy, he after that, he stopped being naughty. He wanted to, do austere life. So he went into a forest for several years. So let's say 10, 12 years later, a yogi comes into the village. He says, "Everyone, please watch me. I can do some very wonderful things." So everyone watches. And then he walks across a lake. Everyone's just mesmerized. How is this possible? This yogi was, puffed up walking on the water. And then the village leader, he was not very impressed. I'm not really impressed. So this yogi comes out from the water. He says, "How come you're not impressed?" "Yeah, because there's a man who could raise the dead. You're just only walking on water." So he's like, "Oh, I want to see this man." So he comes up, and both Guru Dev and the yogi recognize each other. The yogi was the boy that Guru Dev saved. So Gurudev, he was very happy to meet, and they both embraced each other. And then the yogi said, "Just see my power. I'm able to do all these things." And then Sri Gurudev says, "You have wasted your time. All these things. If you could have gotten everything if you just focus on love of God." He said, "These things a boatman can do. A boatman can cross the water. But if you do bhakti yoga, then you have the highest." And this yogi was very embarrassed. He's like, "Oh, really? So how do I do it?" "Then you must read the scriptures. These scriptures I'm reading, the Ramayana, Mahabharata, all these things." And so in this way, we can understand that is the position of the yogi. He's going to say, you just try to make the most of your situation by creating your own conditions. But actually, higher than that is love of God. And that is causeless, actually. There is, I think, a verse, Paro Dharmo Adokshiji. Yeah. Yeah, that one. It's 1-17. Yes. Yeah. So now that is what the proposition of the pure devotee, the Shuddha Bhakti, he will tell you that this causeless devotional service unto the Lord will actually give you everything. It will actually liberate you. It will actually liberation will be your servant. Actually, wealth, it will follow you everywhere you go. Not because it is not like a how do you say, the Christian version of everything you pray to God, everything like wealth, bread. We're not asking for bread, but everything will come because you're in service of God. So just as in Bhagavad Gita chapter 8 verse 28, Krishna says that everything is achieved. There's no lack. You achieve the results of the yogi. You achieve the results of the jnani. You achieve the results of the karmi. And even then, the yogi, karmi, and jnani, if they die, there's no guarantee they will receive the results. They have to complete in this life. But a pure devotee, because he's so merciful, he'll give you the opportunity to keep your results and then advance even further. So, yes, that is the pure devotee. Hare Krishna.
Is Lavanga here? Lavanga here? Ask if she's ready to go. We can go boy, girl, boy, girl. Anyone else want to go this morning?
I got it.
Wait.
Make that longer.
No problem.
I could try to wing it and go short.
Maybe go tonight. Think about it.
I don't do good prepared. It never works well. It's very good.
He helped me.
Not today.
Yeah.
And not today.
If you really want to.
Studio. Studio.
I don't know. I think we can.
I said, you wanna go? But no, I have to.
Oh.
Listen to me. I gotta listen to some lectures.
You feel like it's good? You said.
Oh, no.
First the kingdom
I
of
thought
God,
I
all
heard
these
you say
things
that,
shall be
but-
given.
I was like, you wanna go today?
No, I'm up. Tied up today. I'm looking at venues.
Which one do you want?
She-
You want
she-
this one?
yeah, up here.
Yeah, I got working hard, man.
Yeah, go for it.
Omegana Tamarandasya
Jananjana Shalakaya Chaksha Umitanyana Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. I'd like to offer my pranams to my Guru Devi, Srimati Shamarani Didi, and to our Paramparam and all the lineage of gurus that have come before her and have passed this knowledge down to us, and all the devotees and Vaishnavas that are gathered today. I didn't really prepare for this, and I'll go short to make up for some of the people that took a lot of time. So I guess the first thought I always have when I think about Guru is Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, when he's asking Krishna, like, what do I do? I'm confused, I need direction. And, the short of it is Krishna tells him to approach somebody who has seen the truth and that they can impart knowledge to you. And because we're eternal souls, I think that we're all seeking for a way to show our love to God. That's deep down inside what every soul wants to do, is find a way to show that they love God and find that loving relationship, whatever that relationship is. And it's not that simple to do on your own. So when you actually find somebody that can show you how to, as George Harrison said, unfold your love, it's a really beautiful thing. And that's what Guru is. Guru is the person that picks you up and shows you that here's the path to actually become that blossoming flower that you were always meant to be. Here's what you do with all these emotions that you don't really know what you're supposed to be doing with. And sometimes it's philosophical, it's books, it's knowledge. Sometimes it's just really simple, just giving you an opportunity to render service. The simplest thing. I think a lot of us, when we started, someone just gave us the opportunity to do dishes. I remember one time I went to a temple and they're like, hey, would you like to sweep the floor? And that's the beginning. Anybody that guides you on the path to Krishna consciousness is Guru. Guru is one. And that's the gift, that they show you that you can do something and that it actually has meaning. Ultimately, we have to accept a Guru. We need to have a person that we can surrender to. I think everyone gathered here has found that person in their life, and to me, that's really one of the biggest parts, is that I wanted to love God, and I still want to love God, but knowing how to surrender, it's a really hard thing to do. And you kind of need a living example that you can surrender to, and you need a living example that, for lack of a better word, isn't going to hurt you, that you can surrender to, and they're gonna love you back. And Guru is the person that has not just dedicated their life to Krishna, but has dedicated their life to the devotees that they gather that want help on this path to a loving, reciprocal relationship with God, whatever that relationship is. And every day there's something that I can think of, when I'm feeling lost, that some small thing that I can do, a service that I can feel in some way that I'm honoring my Guru Devi. Even I remember one time my Guru Devi said, if you want to do something for me, read the books. Read the books. That is actually service to me, just like preaching, just like book distribution, just like cleaning the temple. So a lot of times that's my little trick when I really don't know what else to do. I read a book that I know she would want me to read, and I feel that connection, and I instantly feel that love, and I don't feel as lost. Like I said, I didn't really prepare for this, but Thank you for letting me speak. That's kind of how I feel.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Hey. Yeah.
Where is she? Pretty good off the heart, bro.
Yeah. Wow. Very nice.
You're amazing.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, Radhika was looking into, Dee Dee's always saying that the Krishna and Radha, their eyes were moving. So.
Cello. Sumiki.
We're live.
Cello.
She's gonna speak tonight.
Alright.
Yeah.
So who do we have tonight? We have Malunga, Vishwambar, Venugopal. Me. Should I speak tonight or now?
I feel like it would be nice if you spoke tonight.
Tonight.
Yeah.
Sure. Whatever you think.
Huh?
Whatever you think. 4 speakers, that's probably fine.
Yeah.
Oh, and Shard is speaking tonight. Maybe I should go now.
Okay, whatever you want.
Just thinking for time. And maybe someone will show up also that wants to speak, like Jumuna. Nitai. Yeah, hold on. Good. 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 Last. Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. First of all, I'm offering unlimited heartfelt Dandavat pranams in the dust of the lotus feet of my worshipful Guru Devi, Om Vishnu Padastota Sat Shishimati Shamrani Didi. Similarly to my Param Guru Dev, Nichilila Pravishtam, Vishnu Padastota Sat Shishimat Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and Nichilila Pravishtam, Vishnu Padastota Sat Shishimat Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, the entire Rupanuga Guru Varga, and all assembled devotees. Dhanyavad Pranam. So I can try and take the remnants of what everybody has said so much already, actually. Amazing. I was actually just appreciating and so much that like the symptom of such a qualified guru is the amazing associates collected around and how everyone's so qualified and so sincere. And I'm just appreciating my God siblings today a lot. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Shri Guru is most important person in the life of a sadhaka. Srila Rupa Goswami, we heard from Haridas, he said we're followers of Rupa Goswami. And Rupa Goswami has not only established the sweet pastimes of Radha and Krishna, but also he's given us some bhakti tattva, how to perform bhakti in this world. What is bhakti? What is its nature? What is not its nature? And he's given this in one of his texts called Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. And in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he gives 64 limbs of devotional service, how to perform devotional service. And the first limb is Adao Guru Padashraya, to take complete shelter at the foot of lotus feet of Guru. So without this, then bhakti, difficult to perform. And Srila Gurudev, he says this famous thing, he says, Guru Nishta, meaning firm faith in one's Guru, is the backbone of bhakti. So without a spine, body can't stand. So this shows the significance of accepting the bona fide Sadguru and following that Guru's instructions. All of our acharyas have explained very illicitly, and Yashoda Dulal explained very simply and practically, that without this living personality, things can be disconnected from the channel of what's called anugatya. In Sanskrit means like guidance, anugatya. And this anugatya principle is most important. Most important. This is Guru Parampara, entering into the current of Guru Parampara through the via medium of the person that's carrying the Guru Parampara, like that, and taking shelter at their lotus feet. And the bona fide Sadguru is actually explained in our scripture as an external manifestation of Paramatma. So this personality of Guru is not a mere man, and actually it's an offense if we think so. Actually, this personality is a completely transcendental personality, and beyond even our ability to perceive the nature of this personality, how to understand the pure devotee. It says that the pure devotee is in the heart of all, can be, we chant this mantra, Yam Pravajantam Manupetam Apeta Krityam, which explains that Sri Shukadev Goswami, he has the power to enter into the heart of others. So Sri Guru also has this power. So we see there in the scripture the external manifestation of the Paramatma. So Guru is actually, Srila Gurudev, we have to have faith, or we can try to have faith in the statements of our Guru Varga. Srila Gurudev said, I'm closer to you than the air that you breathe. He said that. And he's not just saying, he's meaning. Try to realize where I'm guiding you, So this is also our Guru, is there. And so this kind of personality knows exactly our situation. It says actually Shri Guru knows our situation better than we even know our situation, being conditioned and bewildered. And so the most simple and powerful principle in the life of a sadhak is following the instructions of my Guru, because they're giving this perfect platform, this is what you should do. This is definitely what you should do, and we don't have to wonder, is this what I should do or what I should not do? Like what Prabhu was saying, we can trust and we can surrender ourselves there at the lotus feet of our Guru. And this is anugatya. And this is how everything comes, because it's not by our sadhana alone per se that we advance in spiritual life. It's all coming by the mercy of our Guru. Actually, I heard Srimati Shamrani Didi, our Guru Devi, explain Srila Rupa Goswami gives the definition of pure bhakti, Shuddha bhakti. What is that? Devoid of karma and gyan. Anya bilasita shunyam jnana karmani anavartam anu kulyena Krishna anu. And she explains that anu here also means anugatya, that performing bhakti under the guidance, like that. And she says that when we strive and when we try, then Shri Guru gives us mercy. They see our endeavor and they give us mercy. And this is how we advance in our spiritual life, And it's also there in the verse, Haridas Prabhu, Haridas Das was talking about this Guru Vastakam we sing every morning. And there's a very important verse there that also our Gurudevi mentions very often. Yasya prasada bhagavat prasada. That by pleasing the spiritual master, Krishna is pleased. It's so simple thing. And we make advancement by Krishna being pleased. Definitely, we make advancement like that. And if spiritual master is pleased, then Krishna is pleased. But if spiritual master is not pleased, Srila Prabhupada said, one's whereabouts are unknown. Yeah. So, in some sense, we can actually be very simple in our spiritual life, especially with this blessing of the gift of this relationship of Guru, We can try and be simple. How do I serve my spiritual master? And Gurudevi was giving the different types of disciples, very powerful, very eye-opening for me. I'm like, oh, how can I strive to actually try and serve Guru? And Guru is so merciful that they give us so many means. They give us that opportunity to serve Shri Shri Radharaman Bihari, as it was explained. Also, Gurudevi explaining that by the mercy, somehow or other, by the mercy of Shri Guru, after so many lives, as horses and deer and cows and bugs and trees, stuff like that, I've come to the human form of life. And in the human form of life, by the mercy of Krishna, I've come to Shri Guru. It's explained like that in Chaitanya Charitamrita. After wandering through so many species of lives, in many universes even, it explains there. Then by the mercy of Krishna, one gets Shri Guru. That's Krishna's mercy. So Guru is Krishna's mercy manifestation upon us, Krishna comes as Guru. It's an external manifestation like that. And Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that Krishna, he gives the ability to give mercy to his pure devotee. So he gives that power to his pure devotee, that pure devotee can give mercy, and Krishna has to comply. So special and interesting thing. But by the mercy of Krishna, then one gets Shri Guru. And as Haridas Prabhu was saying, that Guru plants something very deep, the desire to serve Krishna, Krishna Seva Vasana, seed. And as this grows, this births our eternal relationship with Krishna, not our beyond, transcendental to this body and mind. Gopi Bharta Parakamlar Das Das Anudas. That actually we have an eternal swarup, like what Prabhu was saying, an eternal particular mood and particular form, dress, age, name, all these qualities that Krishna has planted this potency there, and he wants to taste this. And by the mercy of Shri Guru, following like that, eventually we get Krishna, sambandha with Krishna. But everything starts, and ends with Guru. Guru is all pervasive, because Guru is also there, But Guru's here, which is amazing. Walking, talking, driving our ship, amazing. And so there's this book compiled in honor of the centennial Vyasa Puja of our Srila Gurudev, Shri Guru Vandan. And it's a compilation of different lectures given by our acharyas on the principle of Shri Guru. Some on this day, some not on this day, but all about Guru. And also the last half of the book is all different glorifications of prominent personalities in our movement, and also glorifications from the Shiksha and Diksha disciples of Srila Gurudev. But I wanted to read one very interesting and illuminating story, an example from Srila Vaman Goswami Maharaj, which was he was very close with Srila Gurudev, Srila Narayan Goswami Maharaj, Srila Vaman Maharaj. And his lecture is titled, First Accept Shelter at Sri Guru's Lotus Feet. And try and listen closely to try and catch the analogy here. He says, the example of the archetypal chaste wife. We can see in a worldly context, in traditional Indian culture, that prior to marriage, a young woman does not occupy herself with the daily affairs of her future husband's household. The first thing she and her guardians focus on with great effort and endeavor is developing her and her future husband's relationship. First, a relationship is established with her husband, and then she moves into her husband's home. She is then observed venturing to live in a manner that serves the needs of her good husband and his kin. If, before developing a relationship with her husband, a young woman goes to great effort without purpose to preoccupy herself with the duties of her husband's household, those undertakings prove not to be the cause of auspiciousness, rather they invoke the sins and indiscretions of sensual impulses by behaving like a married woman without being married. Therefore, on the spiritual path, it is first of all necessary to establish our relationship with Bhagavan. Bhagavan is our eternal husband, and it is Sri Gurudev who makes our relationship with that husband. So Guru makes the relationship. Sri Gurudev is therefore referred to as Sambandha Jnana Datta, meaning he who gives and grants transcendental knowledge of relationship, Sambandha Jnana. Sambandha Jnana alone is called initiation, Diksha, or divine knowledge, Divya Jnana. Any household activity the young woman enacts prior to developing a relationship with her husband is likened to playing with dolls. It is imitation, devoid of actual purpose, and it is but a fleeting mental amusement. She does not actually serve her husband by doing so, and if a woman is married but is averse to forming a relationship with her good husband, the performance of her household activities is just to satisfy her own senses. In the case of the virtuous Griha Lakshmi, household goddess of fortune, however, who has a relationship with her husband, because her every household task is performed with a desire to please him, it fosters auspiciousness and creates peace. We have a bit of time, so I'm actually going to keep reading because it's so valuable information, actually. Is that okay?
Yes.
Establishing a relationship is pivotal. In his commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has clearly shown the profound difference between the performance of service by devotees of Bhagavan and the apparently identical conduct of sense-enjoying non-devotees, Vishai Abhaktas. The sense-enjoyers do everything. They're bathing, dining, starting with passing urine and stool in the morning for the pleasure of their own senses. Meanwhile, the devotees of Bhagavan engage in those very same activities for the purpose of serving Bhagavan, which only culminates as limbs of bhakti. Externally, there is no difference between the behavior of those devotees who are endowed with Sambandha Jnana and those of the sensualist workers. Important main thing here. The sole difference lies in their inner conviction and purpose. A devotee with Sambandha Jnana performs all activities for the pleasure of Bhagavan or for the sake of service, while the Vishai performs those same activities to attain his own pleasures and comforts in this world and the next. In this context, only Sambandha Jnana is favorable for the service of Bhagavan. Any condition devoid of Sambandha creates an unfavorable mood. Therefore, we must first of all become equipped with Sambandha Jnana. Abhideya, or discernment of duty and its execution, follows Sambandha. Sambandha and Abhideya is interconnected like the limbs of the body. If one is not functioning properly, it affects the movement of the body as a whole. Without relationship, the practiced Abhideya cannot be discerned. And without executing the practice, the relationship is not solidified. The goal, Prayojan is only attained after practice is perfected. Last paragraph here. A virtuous wife never loves her husband so that others will praise her. Nor does she desire jewelry, garments, and ornaments in exchange for her love. She serves her husband specifically for his happiness. Her good husband's satisfaction is her only objective, prayojan. His happiness is her happiness. Likewise, fully relinquishing one's own interests and accomplishing Bhagavan's pleasure is the Mool Mantra, or core refrain of the devotee's life. Bhagavan's pleasure is the core goal of a devotee who has a relationship with him. So you see here that Maharaj is showing how our relationship with Shri Guru is the very root of our relationship with Krishna. And we're hearing from Guru Devi, so amazing, that she's saying that Gurudev owns everything. Our mind, our intelligence, our body, and our soul even, they own. So she said, so I'm chanting and doing all my services for the pleasure of my Guru. Amazing. So deep realizations that personally I'm very far from. But on this day, I'm offering my full Dandavat Pranam and gratitude and fervently praying at her lotus feet and all our Guru Varga's lotus feet that I can be inspired to serve and have these realizations of Guru Sevak so that everything can come. Hare Krishna, thank you for your ears and allowing me to say something in glorification of Shri Guru. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhuvyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Okay, now Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bo,
Hari Bo,
Hari Bo,
Hari Bo,
Hari Bo, Nitai Gaura Hari Bo,
Nitai
Nitai Gaura Hari Bo,
Hari Bo,
Hari Bo, Nitai Gaura Hari Bo. Jai Shrimati Sharmani Gurudevi ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Sri Rupanuga Guru Varga ki jai, Sri Vyasadev ki jai, Sri Sanatan Goswami ki jai, Sachinandan Gauda Hari ki jai, Shri Shri Radha Raman Bihari Ju ki jai, Nitai Gauda Premanandi Hari Hari Bo.